Most people think of flirting as playful banter, obvious compliments, or bold gestures. But INFJs rarely flirt in the same way. They are subtle, thoughtful, and often unconventional. For them, flirting is less about surface-level charm and more about building something meaningful. This difference is what makes their style so unique and surprisingly effective. INFJs don't try to impress with showy moves. Instead, they use quiet signals that reveal care, depth, and authenticity. The way they connect often leaves a lasting impression, even if the other person doesn't realize at first that it's flirting. Their tactics may not be obvious in the moment, but they reach deeper, creating bonds that feel stronger and more personal. In this video, we'll explore 6 tactics that INFJs use when they flirt. These approaches may look unusual compared to how others flirt, but they work because they match the INFJ's personality. By the end, you'll see why their subtle methods are often more powerful than direct ones. Tactic number 1. Creating emotional depth quickly. One of the first ways INFJs flirt differently is by creating emotional depth early on. While many people start with small talk or light jokes, INFJs move straight into meaningful territory. Instead of asking about the weather or casual hobbies, they want to know what truly matters to someone, their passions, struggles, dreams, and experiences. For an INFJ, shallow conversation feels empty. They crave connection that goes beyond appearances. So when they are interested in someone, they steer conversations into deeper waters. They might ask thoughtful questions like, "What inspires you the most?" or "What kind of challenges shaped who you are?" These questions are not just for curiosity. They are signals that the INFJ wants to connect on a soul level. This approach works because it stands out. Most people are used to surface-level flirting, compliments about looks, or playful teasing. When an INFJ suddenly shows genuine interest in someone's inner world, it feels refreshing. The person on the receiving end senses that the INFJ is not playing games but actually cares. That sincerity is magnetic. Volontaire. Another strength of this tactic is that INFJs also share pieces of their own inner life. They may talk about their values, personal struggles, or dreams for the future. By opening up, they invite the other person to do the same. This creates a bond that feels safe and intimate, even in the early stages. Of course, this kind of flirting can feel intense. Some people may be surprised by how quickly the INFJ dives into meaningful topics. But for those who are receptive, the impact is strong. Instead of feeling like just another conversation, it feels like the beginning of something important. This tactic also has staying power. Flirting that focuses only on looks or charm fades quickly, but emotional depth creates memory. People remember how an INFJ made them feel heard and understood. That memory builds trust, and trust is the foundation of attraction. By moving past the surface and into emotional depth, INFJs set themselves apart. Their way of flirting may not be flashy, but it leaves a lasting impression that others often can't forget. Tactic number 2, using alone time as a gift. Another tactic INFJs use in flirting is offering their alone time. INFJs value solitude deeply. They need it to recharge and keep their balance. So when they choose to spend time with someone instead of being alone, it means that person is important. This act, though subtle, is one of their clearest ways of showing interest. Unlike some personalities who constantly seek company, INFJs are selective. Their energy is precious and they guard it carefully. This makes their time a valuable gift. When they dedicate hours to being with someone, it sends a strong unspoken message: "You matter to me." This tactic works because people sense the intention behind it. If an INFJ is willing to give up the quiet space they treasure, it shows sincerity. They don't waste energy on people they don't care about. So even without grand gestures, the person feels special simply because the INFJ chose to be present. The way INFJs use their time also adds to the effect. They focus fully on the person they are with, often ignoring distractions. They may listen closely, give thoughtful responses, and create an atmosphere where the other person feels like the center of attention. This focus is rare in today's fast-paced world, and it makes their presence even more meaningful. This approach can feel different from traditional flirting. There may be fewer obvious compliments or dramatic moves. Instead, the INFJ communicates through consistent presence and quiet dedication. For many people, that steady attention speaks louder than words. By giving their time, INFJs show interest in a way that is subtle but powerful. It demonstrates value, sincerity, and depth, all qualities that make their flirting stand out from the rest. Tactic number 3: subtle, meaningful, physical contact. Many people flirt with bold physical gestures, long hugs, playful touches, or exaggerated closeness. INFJs take a different route. When they show interest through physical contact, it is almost always subtle and intentional. They don't use touch casually. For them, it is a language of care and connection. This might look like a light touch on the arm during conversation, leaning slightly closer when someone speaks, or brushing hands while walking together. These moments are brief but deliberate. The INFJ uses them as signals of trust and warmth, not as games or empty gestures. The power of this tactic lies in its rarity. Because INFJs are careful with physical space, even the smallest touch stands out. If an INFJ places a hand on your shoulder or sits close, it carries weight. It tells you they feel safe with you and want you to feel safe with them. Another strength of this approach is authenticity. Some people use physical contact in ways that feel forced or superficial. With INFJs, it is never random. They only reach out when it feels genuine. That sincerity makes the moment more impactful. Physical contact from an INFJ also often comes with emotional attunement. They sense when someone needs comfort or reassurance, and they may offer a gentle touch at just the right time. This ability to combine emotional awareness with subtle contact makes their flirting feel natural and supportive. Over time, these small gestures build closeness. They are not overwhelming or invasive, but steady reminders of interest. For many, this creates a deeper attraction than bold moves ever could. Tactic number 4: insightful questions and shared vulnerability. Another way INFJs flirt differently is by using questions that go beyond the ordinary. They ask things that reveal character, values, and hidden layers. Instead of focusing on surface-level topics, they explore what really makes a person unique. For example, they might ask about someone's goals, past challenges, or personal inspirations. These questions show genuine curiosity and a desire to understand the person on a deeper level. They also make the other person feel valued, because not many people take the time to ask such thoughtful things. But INFJs don't just ask questions, they also share. They open up about their own fears, hopes, or past experiences. This vulnerability is a subtle form of flirting. It shows trust and invites the other person to be equally open. The back-and-forth exchange creates a bond that feels both intimate and safe. This tactic works because it stands out in a world where many interactions remain shallow. Most flirting relies on appearance, charm, or humor. The INFJ approach instead says, "I want to know who you really are." That authenticity is attractive because it makes people feel seen in ways they rarely do. It also helps that INFJs listen carefully. When they ask a question, they don't move on quickly. They take in the answer, reflect on it, and respond thoughtfully. That level of attention makes the person feel important, which deepens the connection. By blending deep questions with personal sharing, INFJs create a space where attraction grows naturally. Their flirting doesn't feel like a game. It feels like the start of something real. Tactic number 5: awkwardness that feels endearing. NFJs are not always smooth when they flirt. In fact, many of them come across as shy or awkward. They may stumble over words, hesitate before speaking, or avoid eye contact at first. But instead of being a weakness, this awkwardness often works in their favor. The reason is simple: it feels authentic. While others may try too hard to impress, the INFJ's nervousness shows they genuinely care. People often find this honesty charming because it proves the INFJ isn't playing games. The slight clumsiness communicates sincerity. This awkwardness can also break down barriers. When someone sees that the INFJ is a little unsure, it puts them at ease. They realize the INFJ is human, approachable, and not trying to be perfect. That vulnerability makes the interaction warmer and more relatable. Over time, the nervousness usually fades as the INFJ becomes more comfortable. But even in the beginning, it creates a natural connection. The other person senses that the INFJ's attention is real, not rehearsed. This makes their flirting stand out in a positive way. Instead of chasing polished moves, INFJs lean into their authenticity. Their awkwardness, combined with genuine interest, becomes part of their charm. It works because it is real, and real is always more attractive than forced perfection. Tactic number 6: active listening and personalized humor. One of the strongest ways INFJs flirt is through listening. While many people listen just to respond, INFJs listen to understand. They pay close attention to tone, choice of words, and even subtle pauses. This deep level of focus makes the other person feel fully seen. In the context of flirting, that attention is magnetic. When an INFJ is interested in someone, they remember the small details. They might recall a story the person told weeks ago, or bring up something they mentioned in passing. This creates a sense of closeness because it shows that the INFJ values what was shared. For the other person, being remembered like this feels rare and meaningful. Alongside listening, INFJs often use humor in a very personal way. They don't usually rely on generic jokes or flashy lines. Instead, their humor grows out of the specific connection they've built. They may tease gently about something the person mentioned earlier, or create a playful inside joke that only the two of them share. This personalized humor strengthens the bond and adds warmth to the interaction. The combination of listening and humor works because it balances depth with lightness. INFJs create emotional closeness, but they also keep things fun and comfortable. This prevents their flirting from feeling too heavy too soon. The humor makes it easier for the other person to relax, while the listening builds trust. This tactic also works long-term. People don't forget how an INFJ made them laugh in a way that felt uniquely personal. Nor do they forget the sense of being deeply heard. Together, these elements form a style of flirting that is subtle, lasting, and very effective. INFJs may not flirt like everyone else, but that is exactly why their approach works. Instead of chasing attention with bold gestures or polished lines, they use sincerity, presence, and depth. Each tactic reflects who they are at their core: thoughtful, authentic, and caring. They flirt by creating emotional depth quickly, drawing people in with meaningful conversations. They show interest by giving their alone time, a gift that means more than words. Their subtle physical contact is rare but powerful, carrying a weight that others feel instantly. Their deep questions and willingness to share vulnerability foster connection faster than any surface-level charm. Even their awkwardness becomes endearing because it shows honesty. And finally, their active listening paired with personalized humor makes people feel both valued and relaxed. These 6 tactics show why INFJs stand out in the world of flirting. Their style may not grab attention right away, but it leaves a lasting impact. The people they connect with often walk away feeling seen, understood, and cherished. That is the kind of connection that doesn't fade. So if you've ever wondered why an INFJ's quiet, subtle flirting feels so powerful, the answer is simple: it works because it is real. Their methods are not about performance or pretense. They are about genuine interest and authentic care. If this video helped you understand INFJs better, share your thoughts in the comments. Do you recognize these tactics in yourself, or have you noticed them in an INFJ you know? And if you'd like more insights into the INFJ personality, remember to like and subscribe.